cars are lined up on the grid. The iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn one for the first time.
Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series here for round 3. RaceSpot TV in conjunction with PSR TV bringing you a wonderful round, and Alexei Usiakla will aim to make it 3 wins out of 3 to begin the season. We're here at Sebring International Raceway in Florida, USA, a wonderful circuit. Johnny Simon here alongside with Daniel Benefield. And Daniel, we just followed Gregor Hutu across the line for the end of his qualifying lap and already up into P8, a very poor qualifying session for Gregor.
Yeah, especially considering this is only half of the qualifying split. There's 2 splits again today, like there have been for the first 2 rounds, Johnny. 21 cars in this one, 21 cars in the other split, and he's only 8th. A bit of a mix-up, actually. I mean, it's still a very dominant Coander and Red Line top of the field, but very mixed up with De Jong currently on pole with the 28.6.
We follow as well Hugo Luis De Jong up there as well, 1 minute 28.6 as you mentioned, Daniel. Incredible lap from Mitchell De Jong, the Pro Series champion, made it a perfect season for him. Hugo Luis is coming towards the final corner of the lap. He's currently scored in P7 with a 1 minute 28.9 across the line now, and he does not improve. He's had a carbon copy lap time, Daniel, with Tommaso Carla. We'll talk about the track a little bit shortly, but for now we see a very tight qualifying session, 4 tenths between the top 9 drivers. It's going to be incredibly intense come the race.
Yeah, I think that's probably why we're seeing a bit of a mix-up as Louise comes through Big Bend now, down to the hairpin on his final flying lap. So we'll see how he goes come towards the end of this.
Well, we talk about the track now. 5.9 kilometers, 3.7 miles that currently Hugo Luis is screaming through. He goes towards turn 9 and then turn 10, Cunningham. And wow, I mean, it's very, very tight. Look at the high profile curves. This track's known for its GT racing, Daniel. And what we know is that it's not suited for these Grand Prix cars too much. But that's why it's going to make it an even tougher challenge for the Williams FW31 to race around this track today.
Yeah, definitely hit the curves and the car gets very unstable. Very easy to turn the car around, even in a LMP2 spec car, never mind a Grand Prix car. As Hugo comes out of Le Mans now and down the Ullman Straight and into probably one of the most famous corners in North America, Sunset Bend, very bumpy, very fast. As Hugo comes around to finish off his lap now, and we'll see if he improves on his 28.9.
Hugo.
28.9.
Oh, yes, and Hugo screaming towards, hits the wall as well. Oh, I was about to say, Daniel, he just pushed too hard into that final corner, got onto the throttle way too early, and now he's hit the wall, and unfortunately for him, it's just butchered that lap there. It seemed very strong, very clean, and he's going to qualify in 7th position in this group. So Hugo Luis and Gregor Hutu are only 2 champions in World Championship history for the Road Series, currently qualifying quite poorly for their standards as we look at Mitchell De Jong leading the session away from Martin Kroenke and Enzo Benito. I think that's pretty much it. We don't really have anyone else in the session qualifying at the moment while I'm looking through. Down the bottom of the order, interestingly enough, Daniel, Patrick Holtzman and Alex Simpson, another 2 drivers that we don't expect to see near the back of the pack.
Yeah, it's very tight as well. I mean, 9/10's current all 21 drivers in this split, but a few other guys down there. I mean, Ilka Hapal is 17th. Jake Sturgios, he's also driving in the 12 hours to Sebring a bit later on. Is also down in 18th, and I mean, these guys, depending on how quickly guys in the other split are going, these guys may not qualify for the race at this at that pace. Mind you, it is very tight, so it'll be interesting to see once this split and the other split gets combined together and we'll get a 35 car field.
Definitely the top 35 for those new to WCS make the grid for the race. So welcome if you're new to the iRacing World Championship. That's what happens in qualifying. The 10 minutes determines the 35 drivers who make the grid. This is one of the groups of the two that we followed. And well, last question for you, Daniel, before we head towards an ad break. The track today, there's little elevation change. There's camber through some corners, which puts extra stress on. Sorry, there's no camber through some corners, so it puts extra stress on tires. And the strategies today will be interesting with 1 or 2 stops, and which ones drivers can take to make or perform that winning strategy.
Yeah, I mean, 2 stop would be the logical idea or strategy around here. 1 stop is possible, but the problem is for these guys is the bumps as well. I mean, their ride heights and pressures are probably a little higher than normal, simply because it's so bumpy around here. I mean, the track's over 60 years old now, and it hasn't been repaved, obviously, an old airfield from World War II, so very bumpy and very tight in places, and unbelievably tight, which you wouldn't expect from a natural racetrack. So it's going to be interesting, and we'll see obviously in the setups as the race progresses on in the pit strategy as well.
Be very interesting come race time with strategies. Race only 15 minutes away. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll take a commercial break for the moment. This is the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series at Sebring, so we'll be back shortly after these messages.
Hey guys, do you want to do a quick 2-minute preview?
Who knows?
Very quickly, do you want to do a quick 2-minute preview of the World Championship race when we come back in a minute?
Well, we're about to go back.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval, and that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself, and they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports. This was one of the more challenging projects that we've undertaken. It was essentially building 2 tracks in one. It took a lot of time and a lot of care was put into it, but we're really happy about the end result, and we think that people have a lot of fun driving it.
Welcome back to RaceSpot TV, where we've just finished up qualifying for the iRacing World Grand Prix Series here from Sebring. So qualifying's now done, Johnny. Obviously, Coanda and Redline once again showing their dominance early on.
Yeah, 2 of the biggest teams in the world, and we love to see that, don't we? I mean, it's great to also see a bit of a mix-up on the grid at the moment. It's going to be interesting, Daniel, to note. I'm not sure who you have your money on to win this race. We know Kroenke is looking strong. We had a few people before the broadcast that I spoke to tipping him for his first win of 2015. It'll be interesting to see what he can do and how guys like Hutu and Luis will fight through the field, especially at a track like Sebring. There's no room for error really at a track like that, is there?
No, not really at all. I mean, very small runoffs in areas, very tight and very bumpy. So we're just going to go through the grid now. So we've got De Jong on pole with the 28.6, Kroenke second, Benito third, Picala fourth, Alexi Yusiakola fifth, our championship leader and undefeated race winner so far this season, down in fifth on the grid. Tommaso Carla up in sixth, sort of out of nowhere. The Movano car quick yet again of Carla. Hugo Luis 7th, Hutu 8th, and all champions 4th throughout the grid. Borcher 9th, Anton Hageland's 10th, Jeremy Butli 11th, Piatella 12th, Baroni 13th, Filo down in 14th, not the best qualifying from him. Nakurian, his Radicals teammate, 15th, Abe 16th, Vaz 17th, Price 18th, Richard Avery 19th, Sebastian Job 20th, Hapala 21st, Jake Sturgios 22nd, Ilbrink 23rd, Holtzman down in 24th, Alex Simpson down in 25th. Just going across the page now, Filio Barazini 26th on his return to the World Championship Series. Miguel Martin 27th, Risku Iwasaki 28th. Ricky Alatello is qualified this week in 29th, Yanni Tamala 30th. Dimitri Yanis 31st, Dion Virgils 32nd, Marcus Gatons made it this week in 33rd, Robin Fiskop 34th, and Marlon Kolak, who's a pro driver, he got his pro license in Season 1's 35th, but since the World Championship drivers behind him, I think Paolo Emilia will field 35th on the grid and will round out the field.
He will indeed. The rules, for those who aren't aware, is that any pro driver is allowed to race as long as there are less than 35 World Championship drivers on the grid. Currently, there were 42 qualified, so unfortunately for Marin Kolak, showing his potential to potential teams who could sign him up, which is quite good for him, actually. A guy I raced against as well in the Grand Prix Series. Very strong, he's very competitive, and he's a strong driver. Hopefully, he can get a World Championship race in this year if the grid goes down. But I don't think we're going to see that too much, Daniel. We know the amount of drivers that race in the World Championship is just incredible. You know, we have 50 with licenses, and I mean, or more than 50. So, I mean, it goes to show how competitive it is, sim racing as a sim, or an esport, as if you want to call it.
Well, definitely. I mean, every qualifying session so far this year has been into two splits, and we haven't really known the grid until afterwards. And I mean, we had 42, including Marin, of course. We had 42 cars qualify today. And let's not forget, Atsi Kirchhoff hasn't didn't attempt to qualify, and the guys who missed out aren't really no names either. I mean, you got Frank Levesque the fourth, Ben Lindsay, Sam Clark, Tomo Medlick, and Emil Hendrickson and Justin Lindsay missing out today. So I guess I'll be watching the broadcast from the sideline that way today.
Definitely will. And we'll go back to the track, Daniel. We look at it already. The amount of, incredible characteristics throughout this. It's one of the older permanent road courses in the USA. We said it's known for its endurance racing. It's going to be a challenge for both the drivers and that Williams FW31. What we want to talk about, though, is the incredible sunset bend, the final corner, and then turn one. Two fast sweeping corners. It really brings that extra element to drivers to at least nail those two parts of the lap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sunset Bend is particularly difficult for a number of reasons. It's a very bumpy corner to start with, and you come into it, the first original apex is very blind. I mean, and there's so many different lines. You can apex early, apex late, apex in the middle, drift out. There's so many different lines, and what I'm going to lead this into, actually, Johnny, if you don't mind, is actually pit entry, because pit entry is on the inside, on the exit of Sunset Bend. So the drivers are going to be have to be on it to make sure they don't run into the car in front of them if the car in front of them is pitting, because they're going to have to slow up to make sure they make it into the lane.
Yeah, it brings... Well, I mean, we know there's so many tracks in this world where they design such a magnificent layout and then they forget to put a pit entry in there. We'll look at strategies for this race today. There's potential 1, 2, and 3 stops for drivers. You talked about it before, Daniel, how 2 stops is ideal. The pit windows, though, for a 1 stop is lap 23 to 26. 2 stop, the first runners will come in around 17 to 23, and a 3 stop will come in very early between lap 13 and 15. I mean, what are the advantages of the different strategies? Can you make it through without being held up in traffic today?
I guess it depends on everyone around you. I mean, in reality, the 2 stops going to be the fastest. I mean, the 1 stop, I mean, we've seen a few so far this season. They haven't really worked out in reality. So, I mean, mind you, we will have Marcus Caton racing today, and he's the master of the 1 stop, so maybe we will see it in effect today. But I reckon the 2 stop will be the most popular. I mean, 52 laps, so the majority of the 2 stoppers will come in probably lap 18, 19, 20. They may try and stretch it to 21, 22, and obviously the 1 stoppers will be in around lap 26. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it depends on how much the guys are burning, how much info they got on that sort of stuff in testing, as well as the tyro.
Once again, the race will be underway very, very shortly. You talked about it, Daniel. The strategy will be very interesting. Another thing that will be interesting we have to mention is the start. In 2013, Kroenke, Hutu, and Luis, they had an immense battle, almost 3 wide at some points. If you want to watch that, watch it after the race, of course. Incredible battling. We could see that today, especially since guys such as Gregor Hutu and Hugo Luis are stuck in the mid-pack. We could see them battling 3 wide through some corners in the first laps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is with turn 1 is that it's very wide, and then it narrows up very quickly. So the guys need to be careful that they don't run each other out of room and end up having a massive accident.
Well, hopefully shortly the race will be underway. And, well, I mean, look at another part of the race start. Sorry, just trying to get through a few technical difficulties for the moment. But for now, we will go towards the start. I'm looking for the server. Still not up. Daniel, let's put a bit more banter in for the start of the race. We talk about the curves as well and the bumps. The bumps at turn 1 in the final corner, being fast sweeping corners, the tarmac and the concrete as well. Remember, this track does have a bit of concrete areas. It starts to create bumps. We've seen that at Daytona, how the bumps there over the about 30, 40, 50 years, how they sort of went down the track. It's the same here. This track, I mean, when you drive and sail through corners like that, it's just incredible how much bump goes on. The suspension really has to be set up quite well.
Yeah, and like as I said earlier, I mean the suspension will probably be a bit softer to what they would normally set the car up to be, and probably the guys' ride heights will be a bit higher as well. Just simply so the cars are a bit more manageable over the bumps. I mean, particularly, I mean the two fastest corners on the track being Sunset Bend and Turn 1, probably two of the bumpiest corners on the track as well. So I mean, the cars need to withstand that, the drivers need to withstand that, and they need to make sure that they're not that they can get through the corner every lap confidently without looping it or pointing it in the wall.
Now, Alexei Usiakla, here's a big topic we need to discuss. 2 wins out of 2, 2 poles out of 2. This round, he doesn't have pole position. Can he indeed take the win, in your opinion? And the second thing is, on the all-time list of race winners, he's currently listed at 7th. Now, with a couple more wins, or 3 more wins, he'll jump up to 3rd on that list, only behind the 2 world champions, Hutu and Luis. This season could prove his worth quite a lot. He's already doing it. But is it important for him to win this race? Or do you think that he's allowed to have 1 or 2 races where he doesn't win? But, I mean, he can't drop his confidence after having a non-win race such as today, if he does indeed not or fail to win.
Well, I mean, starting P5, he qualified P5 3/10 off pole. I mean, he's definitely got the pace, and we know that how good Alexei is over the long run. I mean, the first 2 races were, I'll be honest here, they were a bit easier for him starting from pole. Now that Alexei is starting P5, if he wins today, there'll be a major standpoint from everyone else, and everyone else will be concerned, and it will be a massive stamp on the championship from Alexei.
Well, the race will start very, very shortly for us all. Servers up, and we're getting ready to go at the moment. We look at the championship standings for now. Alexei Usiakla in first place, as we mentioned. Gregor Hutu second. Martin Kronke third. Hugo Luis and Oli Pacala round out our top 5. Mitchell de Jong just outside that top 5. And today, with that incredible qualifying time, well, what are his chances for today? I mean, the Pro Series champion, does he have more pressure being the Pro Series champion, being undefeated in that series, or except for 1 race, Kirchhoff's ability to defeat him? But does he have more pressure, or does that just lighten up the pressure on him because he did win the Pro Series and not any World Championship races?
To be honest, knowing that Mitchell's obviously on a part-time schedule due to real-world racing commitments, I reckon he's actually got less pressure on him than anyone else. He knows he's got the speed when he does, on the weeks he can race, to keep his points within that top 25. So I reckon there's actually less pressure on Mitchell going into today than probably the likes of Kronke, Benito, and everyone else. So that I feel Mitchell's got a good chance today.
Well, we'll take a quick commercial break before the start of the race, so we'll be back shortly after these messages.
Cars are lined up on the grid. The iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn one for the first time.
Welcome back, everybody, once again to the World Championship Grand Prix Series here at iRacing. RaceSpot TV, in collaboration with PSR TV, bringing you the broadcast for today. We're going to commence the race in just 5 minutes' time, very, very close. The bumpy Sebring circuit will host round 3 for us today. And Daniel Benefield alongside me, I'm Johnny Simon. Daniel, we talked about it in the break we just had about the pit exit, how it merges onto the track. I mean, it's very difficult for drivers coming out of the pits. It's going to make things such interesting for drivers on opposite strategies when they merge together.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way pit exit works here, if you haven't seen Sebring before, you come off and you actually rejoin pretty much right on the racing line on the exit of turn 1. So not particularly the safest or the what you'd say vigilant driver's favorite. I mean, very hard to merge back in. And I mean, both drivers I should say, the driver exiting the pit lane and the driver on the track have to work together really to make sure they don't have an accident, because I mean, the driver that's exiting pit lane has to make sure he merges into a gap, but at the same time the driver on the track needs to give the guy room. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that pans out. It should be okay. We haven't had major accidents there before in reality, so the drivers should be able to work around it.
It's going to be very difficult indeed, and well, I'm very pumped for this race. I actually cannot wait to get it started. But, I mean, hopefully soon we can indeed get it started. For now, we'll round out the grid for you once again. It's Mitchell de Jong on pole position. Alongside him is Martin Kroenke. Two very strong drivers head that first row of the grid. Enzo Benito there in second position, followed by Olli Picalo. And then Alexei Usiakala and Tommaso Carla. Tommaso Carla doing a very good job in the Pro Series and once again showing his worth in the World Championship. Hugo Luis and Gregor Hutu on that fourth row of the grid, the all-champion fourth row. Interestingly enough, Hugo Luis, identical times with Tommaso Carla in front. And then Andre Bocha and Anton Higelin, both incredible jobs from them to finish off the top 10 of the grid. We look at the outside of the top 10, it's Jeremy Boutloup from Marti Piatella. And then we have Rocco Baron, Morga Filio, and then Yunus Nukarinen to our top 15, and the rest of your grid on your screens there. We talked about it before, Daniel. Sebastian Job there in 20th. We have Patrick Holtzman and Alex Simpson in 24th and 25th. We'll have to follow them in the or during the first lap, and how much positions they can make. It's going to be incredibly crucial, because that gap between first place and 25th, 9/10 of a second, any mistake will drop you down the order on the grid, and we see that today with those drivers.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, Johnny, if we see the likes of Paul Leobrink, Patrick Holtzman, Jake Sturgis, Alex Simpson try and go on the alternate strategy and try and do a one-stop. The one good thing about Sebring, though, is multiple places to overtake, I should say. You got turn 1, you got going down into the hairpin at turn 7, Cunningham corner at turn 10 if you can make it stick. If you're brave enough, turn 13 at Tower corner, and then down the end of the Ullman straight into Sunset Bend. So, I mean, you got 4 or 5 decent places to actually overtake. So, the guys either need to go lighter or heavier, depending on what they feel more comfortable with, and they may actually be able to get past quite a few cars.
We only have 2 minutes until the grid today. Now less than 2 minutes. I'm getting more excited. And join hashtag iRacingWCS to get your tweets in for us. And the weather today, well, it's mostly cloudy, a bit of sun out there. The drivers, it's going to be a very beautiful day for lots of drivers to battle, slice and dice, wheel to wheel out there. And you talk about it, Daniel, across the back straight, Ullman straight called here, is that, I mean, it's one of the incredible passing options on the track, but then there's no hairpin at the end. It's a fast sweeping right-hander. I mean, we're going to see a lot of contact probably throughout that corner today.
Yeah, definitely, but it wouldn't surprise me as well if we see a situation similar to turns 1 and 2 at Suzuka, where some guys may actually feel more comfortable defending on the outside, getting the run out of Sunset Bend. That way they're on the inside for turn 1. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys play it. I mean, some guys will be more comfortable on the inside. Some cars will, or some drivers, I should say, are more comfortable on the inside. So it'll be a preference thing, but it'll be interesting to see what the drivers prefer.
Less than 60 seconds until we commence round 3 here for the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. RaceSpot TV in collaboration with PSR TV. Thank you to all the viewers out there and for joining us. And, well, we'll get kicked off shortly. And once again, the drivers, we look at the, Isaac Price, Master Carla, very close between those guys in the practice times. But yes, at Sebring here, International Raceway, 17 turns to challenge these drivers in the Williams FW31. Your tip for the race, Daniel, around Sebring. I mean, how will drivers fare? Can Kroenke win his first race of the year? Will De Jong indeed win his first World Championship race?
Can I say just that anyone that's starting in the top 10 can win this race? I mean, it's so close on times. I mean, De Jong's probably the biggest gap between two individual drivers, between first and second, and 700ths of a second. I mean, you've got Carla and Louis 6th and 7th with exactly the same time. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top today, though, as the cars are lining up on the grid.
Mitchell de Jong heads on to the grid there, and then Martin Kroenke will shortly head over. Coanda and Redline, two of the strongest teams. We see a lot of their drivers out here today at the moment. Please be gentle, everyone. 30 seconds until the start of the race. Finally, Daniel, what's the key to leading into turn 1? A great start, obviously. What else? Being aggressive, being calm?
Well, I reckon Kroenke may be able to snatch the lead here if he gets a good enough start and holds it around the outside de Jong. But being teammates of Coanda front row lockout, I don't see them risking much in turn 1, more like keeping the 3 Redline cars behind them.
5 seconds to the start. The red lights will illuminate shortly for all drivers. We look at them now. Mitchell de Jong in first place. Martin Kroenke in second as the engines rev up. And we go green here at Sebring. Already a great start.
Absolute flyer.
Oh, Jussi Jäkälä.
De Jong's taken him to the wall into turn 1, and Jussi Jäkälä started 5th. He's at the 3rd. Gregor Hutu as well in the background, all over the back of Olli Pekala. He's moved up to turn 6, and it looks like all the drivers are clean through the first few corners.
Jussi Jäkälä, amazing. We have a crashing at the back of the pack. I'm not sure who that is, the number 42. But Jussi Jäkälä now on the attack. Can he indeed make a pass into the hairpin? He goes around the outside, braking very late. Defending hard already, but he could be under attack as well. Can he get the exit? Not close enough. Already though, Daniel, we talked about it. Jussi Jäkälä for his chances to win his 3rd race out of 3 for the start of the season. Amazing job from him already.
As we have a big pilot towards the back of the pack, I'm not sure who's involved. There's a massive group. Rocco Baroni, Jeremy Beatsleep's involved. Miguel Martin's out of the race as well, so we've lost a couple of cars in the early running, Johnny.
Already big disappointments for some drivers near the back of the pack. Already though, Mitchell de Jong leads from Martin Kroenke. Jussi Jäkälä in 3rd. Enzo Benito's dropped down for 4th at the start, as well as Olli Pekala. He's down into 5th. Gregor Hutu and Hugo Luis head 6th and 7th. And Andre Boettcher, Anton Higelin and Mogar Filho round out the top 10 as the drivers complete the first lap of 52 here for round 3 at Sebring International Raceway. Already though, we'll try to find out which drivers are on separate strategies. The gap from the leader is 9/10 from de Jong to Kroenke. A comfortable gap for him, you could say, Daniel, but we'll have to see if de Jong can break away from Martin Kroenke.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It looks like Jussi Jäkälä and Enzo Benito are staying within touching distance of Kroenke. Looks like Benito's a little lighter on fuel at this point compared to Jussi Jäkälä. We've got a few cars in the pits at the moment. I'm just trying to figure out who we have. Borgarfilo, Jalvez, Isaac Price, Jake Sturgis, Yannick Tamala, all doing, I believe they're drive-throughs actually, right there, because Shannon Whitmore, the chief iRacing official for the iRacing Grand Prix series, they come on and say, the guys that don't have drive-throughs, don't forget to do your drive-throughs. Also, another thing I want to touch on is our 6th place starter, Tommaso Carla, is down
He's
in
dropped
30th.
down. Yep. He's had a terrible
But,
start.
Well, yeah, but not only that, I'm not sure if he was involved in the first lap melee, but he was back down probably around 10th to 15th, about halfway through lap 1. So he got an absolute horror of a start.
Already though, another guy is having a horror second lap is Alexei Usiakala. He's dropped to 1 second behind Martin Kroenke. And, well, Mitchell de Jong and Martin Kroenke very, very close between each other now, 8/10. So it's 1/10 that Martin's brought down that gap as well. We look towards Enzo Benito and Oli Pakula, still close between them, around 1.2 seconds. Hugo Luis, though, only 0.2 of a second behind Gregor Hutu, and we'll focus our attention on this battle for the moment, because Gregor is on his toes at the moment defending from Hugo Luis. Remember, the only 2 world champions in iRacing road history. At the moment, though, what can Hugo do to pass Gregor in this situation, Daniel? We know that Gregor is pretty much a robot, makes hardly any mistakes when he races.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Greg is a little heavy on fuel at the moment, actually, because he was all over Oli Pakala in the first lap, and he's dropped back a little bit now. And Hugo's actually dropped a little bit back in the start of this lap. I'd say that's through the more aero-dependent first sector, though, and that's why that's happened. Running a little bit of a different line through Collier, though, a little bit interesting. And just a little shout out I want to give. The top 8 cars are either Redline or Coanda. The guy in 9th, and everyone's pulled away. The guy in 9th, Anton Heglin, Apex Racing UK car there. The only car in this first group that's not Redline or Coanda. And he's doing an awesome job at the moment in that Apex Racing UK Leo Bodnar car.
He's only 3/10 behind Andre Borcher there for 8th and 9th. Look at it, having a look up the inside. Too far behind though. He's just trying to make sure that Andre knows he's in his mirrors at the moment. The Apex Racing UK car of Anton Higlin in the top 10. Andre Borcher pushing to the limit. Hugo Luis still only half a second behind Gregor Hutu. And look at the front battle. I think that's Martin Kroenke. He's very, very close to Mitchell de Jong there. I saw the gap go down to 1/10 in the relative times. Martin Kroenke now putting the pressure on Mitchell de Jong. Can he get up close to the back of that gearbox on the Williams? Can he not look up towards the hairpin? Very, very close. Braking deep now. We'll see if he gets a run on this straight, Daniel. Look at that. The exit's pretty clean, but Mitchell, though, gets the power down nice and early and defends first place for now.
I think Mitchell de Jong may have made a little mistake through one or two there, because the gap was 6/10 at the line, so Kroenke put up a hell of a lot in the first couple of corners. It wouldn't surprise me though if Kroenke just stays in position, doesn't do anything stupid considering their teammates in 1 and 2 at the moment, and it's the early stages of the race, and that they are pulling away a little bit from Alexei Usiakala and Enzo Benito behind. They in fact, Usiakala has pulled out a gap over Benito as well. So I mean, the red line cars are going to stay there, but these 2 Coanda cars at the front, de Jong and Kroenke, need to work together and make sure they keep that gap.
They have to indeed work together. The gap now 3/10 as they head towards Sunset Bend, the final corner of the lap. They'll come across the line. We'll have 48 laps remaining in this race. Usiakala, though, does this mean he's on an opposite strategy to these front 2 cars, Daniel? Because at the moment he's losing time per lap. Lap time around, he was 3/10 slower than Martin Kroenke in front of him, but only a 10th slower than Mitchell de Jong. Mitchell having a pretty crazy lap under pressure from his teammate. So is Alexei Usiakala on a different strategy to these top 2?
Typically Redline do go a little bit longer, particularly the Hutu car, who's still got Louise about 4/10 back, but in reality the top 9 cars are so evenly matched at the moment, from de Jong down to Heglin. I mean, they're all setting times, low 31s, maybe a high 30 occasionally for Benito on that last lap, the quickest of our top 9 cars. but at the moment, half a second between the two Coanda cars. So Cronco seems to make his ground towards the end of the lap. So I'm pretty sure that won't be a setup thing, though. I'm sure these two guys are running very identical setups, being in the same team. So I'd say that's just a draft from Cronco.
As you can see on your screen replays of the start, Alexei Usiakla screaming towards turn 1. Incredible jump from him. He's currently in 3rd place. He started from 5th on the grid. That's just the feeling you get, Daniel, when the car just grips itself together for the start of the race. You can see cleanly, and he's on his way towards, well, hopefully for him, a 3rd win out of 3. And, well, I mean, what's he going to do now? What is he going to do? Tommaso Carles, in the meantime, though, was one of the cars caught up in the incident. So he's down in 31st, still on the lead lap. But what is Jaakkola going to do now? He's currently 1.7 seconds behind the top 2. Is he going to push, or does he play it safe and wait for the race to evolve and maybe come into his hands later on?
I think he'll wait for at least the first set of pit stops. Benito is catching him at the moment, so I think it's going to be very interesting how these redline cars will play this race. Very unusual for Coanda to be, well, not unusual, but so far this season unusual for Coanda to have the upper hand in terms of track position over redline. So it'll be interesting to see how these two, how both Yusi and Benito work their strategies around the start of the race. Obviously, Yacole probably wasn't expecting to be 3rd into turn 1, so that was an awesome start, I will admit. Hell, that's the definition of the perfect start, was Alexei Yusi-Yacola's start then.
Perfect start for Mitchell de Jong at the moment, 9/10 in front of Martin Cronker. He's pulled away. He's currently 3/10 faster last lap around. We'll watch the gaps as they come across the line this time around for 46 laps remaining as they cross the line. So watch this. Mitchell de Jong now across the line. He will set a 1:30. We'll wait for it to update. 1:30.3. 3/10 faster again than Martin Cronke. The gap now, Daniel, 9/10 of a second. So Mitchell de Jong now away from the pressure of his teammate. They're both settling into their strategies and their races. The closest battle now in the top 10 is still between Hugo Luis putting the pressure on Gregor Hutu, as well as Anton Higlin putting the pressure on Andre Borcher in front. Those two guys there, especially Hugo, he's going to have to really get in front of Gregor. He's got no real expectations for this race, talking to him beforehand. He was talking his chances down. But, I mean, any race, you really have to go out there and give it your best shot. And at the moment, though, behind Gregor, he's going to have to give it 110% if possible to get in front, of the 4-time world champion.
Yeah, but he can't overdrive the car like he did into the hairpin just then. He outbroke himself a little bit, and he's now at least half a second behind Gregor now, probably up to a second. But he tends to bring it back to Hutu. This will be the biggest sort of showing, since they've got about 3/4 of a second in between them now. Meanwhile, another Coanda car, Marty Piatella's got Richard Avery in that Friction Racing car, not too far behind him either in the battle for 10th. About 2 seconds behind, they got Sebastian Job as well. In fact, 12th and 13th is Job and Papala. In fact, add Barazini into that. Those guys started 20th, 21st, 26th, and Fritz Gops is 15th from 34th. I mean, what a start for those guys, just staying out of the mess that everyone else was getting themselves into, and they're suddenly in sight of a top 10.
Certainly, great starts from them, as well as Patrick Holtzman there in 16th position. He's 23 seconds away from the lead, being held up by this battle, all of them. They're too busy battling. Mitchell de Jong's just pulling away the lap times at the moment. Incredible job from him in the lead. But those guys there, as you mentioned, lots of positions gained, especially from Robin Friskops, 34th to 15th, 19 positions gained at the start. Incredible from him there. We know the 35 car grid, for those who are new to the World Championship, the top 35 qualifiers make it through. And as we head towards 45 laps remaining, still Alexei Usiakle, he's dropped back now 2.1 seconds. Cronke, though, is currently reeling in Mitchell de Jong in front. So are they working together, Daniel? It's going to be interesting, because now Cronke can use the slipstream and maybe save a bit of fuel and maybe overcut de Jong in the pit stop phase, as Alexei Usiakle almost loses it on the exit at Le Mans.
I think that's what Kroenke needs to do if he wants to win this race, because these two red line cars right here, Yukola and Benito, that have to be running heavier on fuel. They're about 2 to 3 tenths each lap slower than the two Coanda cars. So I mean, even Picala and Hutu as well, I reckon, running heavier. So it'll be interesting to see as Benito's closed up to the back of Yukola, see if Yukola lets him pass. If there'll be a indication there. If Yukola lets Benito pass, it means Benito is lighter on fuel, and they want to maximize their strategy. But they're gonna have to maximize their strategy to try and catch the two cars up in front of them.
Well, if they are indeed 3-stopping, which will be very, very optimistic, 13th to 15th. And we watched Robin Friscop start from on board. Incredible from him already. And wow, I mean, 19 positions already. Still in 15th, 3 seconds behind Fulvio Barrazzini. But going back to the first, or the 3-stop strategy, it's optimistic, Daniel. We're expecting him in around lap 13 to 15, so in a few laps' time. But if they do miss that window, it'll certainly have to be a 2-stop or a 1-stop. At the moment, though, if they do work together, those two red line cars in 3rd and 4th, they really have to do that to pass Mitchell de Jong and Martin Kroenke in the top 2. But those two as well, it's very confusing at the moment whether they are working together or whether Kroenke is indeed trying to push his teammate there in first place.
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because the last lap they set exactly the same lap time. Both did 1:30.374. This lap around, once it updates, I'll tell you what they did. Dion did a 30.1, Kroenke another 30.3. But yet again, Yukola and Benito 2 tenths off Kroenke. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we see the Coanda cars around lap 18, but then we see the red line cars in about lap 19, 20.
Oh, Fulvio Barrazzini and Sebastian Job battling very, very closely through turn 1. Now turn 2. Job defending. Can Barrazzini go around the outside? He'll have to succumb to the battle, and he'll have to lose in that one. Sebastian doing some great defending under too much pressure as they go through the chicanes. And now, I mean, just incredible. The battle for 13th here as well. Look at that, though. Job has his hands or his elbows out, really. He's defending incredibly aggressive. And there we go. Barrazzini up the inside. Can he get the move done? Job lets him through. Will he get the exit? No. Fulvio Barrazzini, I think, is in to 13th position there. Sebastian Job into the slipstream. Too far behind, but a great move there, Daniel, as Job is just trying to reel him in, braking very late, and he's being too aggressive now, trying to fight back.
That's the second time in as many braking points that Job has outbraken himself. He sort of gifted Barrazzini position there by outbraking himself. If he could have over-undered him, and that would have made it interesting going into Cuttingham corner. But and then he outdid himself. He was actually pretty lucky not to hit the back of Barrazzini there. So now there's about half a second between the two cars there, and Anton Hagelin, Sebastian Job's teammate, starting to close in on Andre Borcher again, but I don't think he's quite close enough to really threaten him.
No, Anton Hagelin that time around 3 tenths faster. He's still 4 tenths behind Andre Borcher for P8 at the moment. Look, going through turn 1, you can see the dirt on the outside as Andre kicks it up for this lap. He's pushing to the limit though. He's maximizing every millimeter of the track. Andre is definitely under pressure here from Anton, and you can tell just by driving style. Anton though gets on the curb on the exit. That's really going to impede him as the car bounces through there. And as they go towards turn 7, the hairpin, we'll watch this time around, Daniel. What can Anton do to pass Andre in front for 8th position?
Yeah, he drops back a little bit there, so he'll have to make that back up to Anton. So he tried. Anton just, this time it was Anton that outbroke himself going down into Cunningham corner. So maybe the Apex Racing UK guys are having a bit of an issue with their brake bias going into Cunningham corner. I'm just going to go down. It looks pretty close. Alex sits another Apex Racing UK car under a little bit of pressure from Pello and Mulia for 20th at the moment as well. And these guys have moved up as well. I mean, Alex started 25th, not so much, but Mulia started dead last on the grid, and now he's running 21st.
14 positions gained for Paolo Mulia there. He's putting the pressure on Alex Simpson in front, the Apex Racing boss, currently in 20th position. Going back up there, Richard Avery. Oh, very close there up to Marty Piatella Very close through Sunset Bend on the exit of this corner. Look at that though. Piatella gets a poor exit. Richard Avery on the power, nice and early into the slipstream. Can he make a move into turn 1? He goes up the inside. Piatella doesn't really bother to defend around the outside. Can he stick the car there? And I think Richard Avery's pretty much got that move done. No, he doesn't. Piatella gets an incredible exit up the inside, and that's just incredible. Marty Piatella defending well, very uncharacteristic. It was uncanny, but Piatella just, I mean, around the outside, you don't really expect drivers to really give up a position and then just sail around there, just like he did there, Daniel.
That's what I mean. When it's like and around the outside, never necessarily is the wrong option. Piatella has shown it exactly right there. Richard Avery just not carrying enough momentum off the corner. Piatella just sails back around the outside and says, thank you very much, I'll keep that. Tell you what though, those guys going side by side through the first couple of corners, all of a sudden Ilka Pal is right on them as well, and Benjamin Lindsay's got to be really careful now.
Oh, very, very close. I think Anton Higgelin's having a few issues, but back to this battle. Look at that, Richard Avery still putting the pressure on Piatella. Ilka Hapala right behind there. We'll see if Avery can get a move done now, coming towards the back straight into the slipstream. He's 3/10 behind in the gaps. He's got a lot more attacking to do than defending this time around. Richard Avery now into Sunset Bend with 40 laps remaining. He's got plenty of time to get this move done. Can even do it through strategy. Will he get the same exit as last time? No, he doesn't. This time Piatella, just amazing job. I mean, he gets the exit this time around. Last time though, he really butchered that final corner. And now into turn 1, Avery sweeps it in, turns left, and gets on the exit quite well. But Piatella now, I think he's learnt what he has to do to defend from Richard Avery, and he's performing in all the important parts of the track, Daniel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Piatella's looks like he's using a bit the rate and a bit more, as Avery's actually really close down into the hairpin now, but doesn't try to go past Marty Piatella there. And that's just Richard Avery being very smart. He knows he's got Ilka in behind him, and he's got to choose his overtaking spot really wisely, because I reckon he knows, and I reckon he's only going to have one chance at doing it without losing the spot.
Here they come into turn 13 tower, and then look at the exit there. More dust kicking up. Marty Piatella on the absolute limit at the moment. And we'll see if this time around, Richard Avery very, very close. The closest he's been all lap now as they head towards Le Mans. And then the Ullman Straight now. Richard Avery sweeping the car in, maximizing the limits of the track once again. Into the slipstream, 3/10 the gap, 2/10 now. It's creeping down as Richard Avery sails into the slipstream. Is he going to stick it up the inside? And he does exactly that. In towards Sunset Bend though, once again, Marty Piatella, an incredible job of trying to stick it around the outside, but this time around he has to give up that position to Richard Avery. And Richard now into the top 10, incredible job, but not for long. Marty wants to go up the inside again. Can he get it done? Richard not fussed by it, and I think finally Richard has got that move done and dusted. Incredible racing now through the final couple of corners. Ilka Hapala though behind couldn't capitalize on their battling, and he's still stuck in 12th place.
Yeah, I thought Piatella would have to be very careful of Hapala after he went to the inside through turn 1, and Hapala's got to start watching his mirrors as well, because here comes Barazini in behind Hapala, and not too far behind that is Sebastian Joe. We're going to have a 5-car train. I'm going to probably get some hate for saying this, but Richard Avery's starting to get the trolley train going.
So Richard Avery, yep, he is indeed. Lots of drivers behind them at the moment. Back to the lead though, we shouldn't take our attention off that. It's still 1 second from Mitchell de Jong to Martin Kroenke. Alexei Usiakala has kept that gap consistent around 1.8 to 2 seconds at the moment. Enzo Benito there behind as well. For 4th, Oli Piccolo, the strong driver that he is, 3 seconds behind in his own little world, with Gregor Hutu also trailing 1.3 seconds behind. Hugo Luis though, all race, he's been stuck behind Gregor. This is where you need to be uncanny, and we talked about it, Daniel, as Marty Piatella actually battling. We'll focus on this. Ilka Hapala now at the inside at Sunset Bend. Can he get the move done? Marty Piatella 2 times in 2 laps. He's going to be passed into that final corner. It's too bumpy around the outside, and we see Marty Piatella there just losing grip of the car and almost losing the car as it bounces through the incredibly bumpy Sunset Bend.
I reckon Piatella might be a bit heavier on fuel, because that's the second time he's been really vulnerable into Sunset Bend. I mean, to Avery, and Avery's pulled out quite a little bit of a gap pretty quickly, and now Hapala's starting to pull out a little bit as well. Barazini and Job not too far behind either, so I'm not sure if it's a one-stop or a very late two-stop for Piatella, but it seems, just in the way his car's performing in a straight line, that he seems to be heavier on fuel.
If it is a one-stop, we're expecting one-stoppers to be around lap 23 to 26. The three-stop strategy is around now. Anybody who wants to perform a three-stop would have been in at this point in time, but for the moment they are not. So most of the field on a two-stop, which is the ideal strategy as Ilkka Hapala heads on towards turn 13. I think we have Price in, indeed. And Daniel, you're watching that in the pit lane.
Yeah, it just seemed to be a routine stop for Price. Only caught the end of it, but he's got to be careful because he goes Richard de Jong down the front straight, so he's just going to stay in the lead lap for now. Obviously, when everyone else pits, that will reset through. Maybe Isaac just had a little bit of damage that he wanted to get fixed and made his pit stop a bit earlier. I still reckon he's on a two-stop though.
Two-stop, obviously, we mentioned, is the ideal strategy. They will be in on lap 17 to 23. We'll watch that very, very shortly indeed. That's in a couple laps' time. This will be interesting. Mitchell de Jong, though, coming up towards the lapped car of Isaac Price, or he's not lapped yet. He could be lapped shortly. We'll watch this, though, as Mitchell heads towards the fastest lap of the race. So 1 minute 29.9 for him. This is incredibly good for him. Look at that, though, Daniel. He's just pushing it to the limit once again. No mistakes. We saw him under pressure from Martin at the start, but now he's pulled that to 1.3 seconds. And if he does get impeded by this lap car, he has to make sure it's not by much, because as the lap car gets through. So there we go. He just scrapped everything that I've said, and he's gone through pretty cleanly. So for now, Mitchell, when he makes his pit stop, he's got to really maintain first position. And the gap now, this is really important, Daniel, is that he's extruded it to about 1.6 seconds to Martin Kroenke. So that means it's going to give him that extra buffer as he makes a pit stop.
Yeah, I think Kroenke's going to get the worst of Isaac Price here, and he's held up more. But he did get the draft from Isaac Price down the Allman Straight. Still, de Jong's actually going to get impeded again. Here comes Alex Simpson out of the pit lane. So bit of a mix-up of strategy here, because now we've got a couple of guys, because Rizky Rosaki also just made his first pit stop. So I don't think these guys are on a 3. I think they're just on a like a light first stint two-stop strategy. I mean, as I said, Alex Simpson qualified down in 5th in a 25th, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did go a bit low to try and pass on cars early on. We'll see if how it works out for him as we get further in and everyone else makes their first pit stop. And now he's got Martin Kroenke behind him. Blue flag rules do apply in the World Championship Grand Prix series, but Kroenke's being held up badly here by Alex Simpson. Simpson lets Kroenke go, and now he's got Alexei Usiakola. Usiakola's been sort of dark horse at the moment. He's slowly crept back up to the back of those Coanda cars in the traffic pretty quietly, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the first round of pit stops.
Now, it played pretty evenly for the top two there, de Jong and Kroenke, as Usiakola heads into the slipstream of Alex Simpson. Alex once again lapped by the top 3. But there, it played evenly. We'll look at the lap times and how much time de Jong and Kroenke lost. I think, though, in total, de Jong lost about 3/10 being stuck behind Alex in that first sector of the track. Nothing really Alex could do. He couldn't really pull out because it was a very tight section of the track. So that's going to be real important, Daniel, as we look at the lap times now. So indeed, Mitchell de Jong losing 2/10 or 2.5 compared to his teammate Martin that lap. And Alexei Usiakola as well, losing the most time of the top 3. So unfortunately for those, or at least for Alexei Usiakola, he couldn't capitalize on the lapped car being in the way.
Yeah, definitely. I think we might have Whiskey Arasaki out of the race, actually, Johnny, because he did come in for his first pit stop, but he hasn't rejoined. And he's actually left the session, so I'd say we're down to 30 cars still running in the race now.
Yep, Yuho Abe and Yuso Abe, and Ryosuke Iwasaki, they're outside of the race. Miguel Martin, Rocco Barone, and Jeremy Bouteloup also out of the race. We have 30 runners here as well. Yunus Nukarina, is in 30th position already. Alex Simpson there, we're following him, is in 28th. Tommaso Carlo unfortunately had that poor first lap, and he's jumped up into 26. I think Marcus Caton is in the pit lane as well, Daniel, as we watch this.
Yeah, definitely. He's just actually rolling back out now, Johnny. He shouldn't impede the leaders as they're coming down the Ormond Straight now, so he's going to come out into some clean air. I thought Marcus might have tried doing the one-stop here. Obviously, he hasn't gone for that, which is a bit of a shame. I was looking forward to seeing if Marcus could make a one-stop work today. But still, I mean, he obviously figured he got a good start and he's going to get a good result, so he didn't want to risk try risking it going to a one-stop race from here, like he did in the Pro Series at Road America.
That was an incredible race. Marcus on the edge there of defending, on the edge of the rules as well. Played it to perfection though, that one stop. So Gregor Hutu and Hugo Luis at the moment just went around Alex Simpson quite tightly there as well. Those two have been battling all race long now. 18 laps battling as we head with 34 laps remaining. So Hugo now, we talked about it before, how aggressive does he have to be? There's no one behind. Andre Boch has fallen to 11.5 or 11.7 seconds behind Hugo now. So it's all up to attacking. Hugo's just going to go all out attack. He's going to be finished probably 7th and higher depending on where everyone else pits, as we have more people in the pits. Rico Alatalo as well. What can Hugo do? Does he play it to perfection? Can he play it to perfection? Well, look at there, almost losing the car though. So at the moment for Hugo, I mean, aggression is key, especially since there's really no one behind to defend from.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he can't overdrive the car though, because if he overdrives the car, he'll just lose more time to Gregor. I mean, he's sort of been surprised. I mean, he's had good qualifying pace as Hugo Luis so far this season, except for today. I mean, only qualified P7. But it's not really the race pace that we've seen from Hugo Luis in the past, and not particularly the race pace that run in his championship in 2011. So I mean, mind you, at this stage, both our champions have been upstaged. I mean, only being 6th and 7th, obviously we're seeing Gregor come back from this low in the field before and win a race. He runs his strategy to perfection, but is he? I mean, obviously being the 4-time world champion, he'll always have somewhat the #1 driver in Team Redline. But being upshown by Alexei Usiakola so far 2 1/3 races so far this season, is the focus turning to Alexei a little bit for winning the championship, Johnny?
Could indeed. Alexei Usiakola currently first. Gregor Hutu though 28 points behind in the championship in 2nd position. Those top 2 now in the race, Martin Kroenke in 3rd and Mitchell de Jong in 6th in the championship. Hugo Luis in 4th. And Oli Pakala splits all of them. He's in 5th. Incredibly tight between those guys, but Alexei Usiakola is the man who's shone, or at least shined the most in the first couple of races. He's proved his worth quite well in his new atmosphere there at Team Redline. And it's just an incredible job that he's done. Now, he's 2.5 seconds behind. His chances, though, as we're expecting most of the drivers to be on a one-stop, as the window is around 23 to 26. De Jong is in.
Sorry to jump in, Johnny. The 2 co-ender cars are in, and guess who the first car that stayed out is? Alexei Usiakola will lead a lap of this race. Benito's in. Pakala stays out. What does Hutu? Hutu stays out, but Louise is in. So I reckon we got to look out for obviously the 3 guys the 3 red line cars that stayed out in Usiakola, Pakala, and Hutu.
This could be interesting. I think, yeah, those Coanda cars indeed, Daniel, are going to be on 2-stop strategies. This is going to be, oh, look at the lead as well. That's incredible. Mitchell de Jong and Martin Kroenke, almost identical pit stops. We see the teamwork paying off there. They come out now, still 9/10 the gap. It's pretty much just, I mean, carbon copy pit stops and pit lane times there. I mean, that just goes to show how much effort these guys put in their spare time to make these pit stop phases 100% perfect, as Richard Avery in the pits.
Yeah, it's the pit lane peak hour right now, because I mean we've got Avery who's only just come out in front of Barazini, as well as we got Joe Vaz in the pit lane as well. We got a number of cars. I mean, it's peak hour right now.
Oh, look at that, Richard Avery under too much pressure. I think that might indeed be Tommaso Carlo there. No, it's not actually. Yes, it is actually. Sorry. It is Tommaso Carlo in one of the Movano cars. In too tight for comfort there. Richard Avery stuck behind this. Whoa, this train there. But Fulvio Barazina incredibly close between them in the pit stop phases as well. The Alexiusi Akela in the pit, so that indeed scraps his one-stop chances. I think he's also on a two-stop strategy. Daniel will watch the rest of the red line cars as they head towards the pits.
Picala's in as well. But remember when I said that Hutu's probably heavier than everyone else? Guess what?
He is.
Gregor Hutu's leading the race right now.
He is indeed leading the race. And Gregor Hutu, though, I mean, wow, he's just the rear end stepping out at the moment. And Enzo Benito, Hugo Luis there currently in 11th and 12th. And I mean, the battle is it's just too close. Anton Higelin as well battling. There's too much going on at the moment, Daniel.
Yeah, definitely. As just watching Oli Piccola come out behind Sebastian Job, Marty Piatella, and Enzo Benito. So where once everyone makes their stop where they should be. But going back to the Porsche Hagler battle, why did these guys decide to actually start battling right in the middle of the pit stops? There's too much going on. Now Hagelin's dropped back probably about 3/10 from the back of Borch's car, not close enough into Cunningham corner. If he stays that close though, he can have a go into Sunset Bend.
Look, Anton Higelin too close to Andre Borcho at 6/10 behind. Wait for them to make their pit stops. Gregor Hutu still out there for Team Redline. Gregor Hutu into Sunset Bend with 31 laps remaining. Incredible job from Gregor. We talked about it, Daniel. He's heavier than everyone else, it seems. He's still going on at the moment as we have a battle developing itself between Jake Stirios and Ilka Hapala. Currently, Ilka Hapala into the pits. Jake Stirios has not made his one and only pit stop we're expecting. Look at that though, Hapala now is really going to have to get the hammer down on that throttle pedal.
I don't think he will though, because I mean, he'll know that Stogios hasn't pitted and he'll be lighter and faster at this stage of the race. So it won't surprise me if Stogios pulls away. Meanwhile, just up ahead, Sebastian Jodes making his first pit stop, as well as Anton Hagelin. So the Apex Racing UK car is going a bit longer, which is surprising. I mean, obviously Alex Simpson came in a bit earlier on, one of the first cars to pit, where the other two are Apex Racing UK cars coming in a bit later. As Hagelin's on his way out now. Now this could be interesting because Borch is stay out as well. So this could define the battle between those two guys as well.
Good indeed at the moment. We still look at the gaps between some drivers at the moment. Where's Hugo Luis? He's currently in clear air, a little bit of clear air. Oli Picalo is 3 seconds in front of him at the moment. Mitchell de Jong and Martin Kroenke. Martin Kroenke 7/10 behind Mitchell de Jong. I don't think he's really going to get a pass done. I mean, he's been stuck behind him all race. The same with Luis, who was stuck behind Gregor Hutu. For the moment, though, Hutu on opposite strategy is the most interesting phase at the moment. Can he indeed make a move up the field, and by how many positions will he jump, if any, during this phase, Daniel?
We're about to find out because Hutu's rolling down the pit lane right now. So it won't be surprising if Andre Borcher pits this lap as well, but we're obviously interested in the number one car, the 4-time world champion, Gregor Hutu, as he comes down into his pit stop. Borcher actually staying out, so he will lead a lap this race, or he should anyway, as now looks like Hutu has done his service, so he's rolling out. So the two commander cars have gone past. Alexei Yukal comes past. Here comes Benito. Here comes Piatella. But I tell you what, Gregor Hutu at his best. Not only has he stayed well clear of Hugo Luis, he's jumped his own teammate in the form of Oli Piccola. So Gregor Hutu doing what he does best. I believe that's now a net 4th position for the number 1 Redline driver.
Gregor Hutu, incredible pit stop phase. He nailed that perfectly in front of his teammate Oli Piccola there. Hugo Luis stuck behind him. So Hugo has lost around, around 3 seconds to Gregor Hutu. He was right onto the back of the gearbox of that Williams car, and now he's just way too far behind. So Gregor paying off perfectly. His experience, he's capitalizing and using that to perfection once again. Back to the lead battle. Andre Burcher still hasn't pitted. He's currently 4.9 seconds ahead of Mitchell de Jong. So Mitchell effectively leads this race once again. Not too many position changes in that phase, Daniel, except for Gregor Hutu.
Yeah, I mean, they all seem to pit in on the same lap. It wouldn't surprise me, actually, if Commander trying to one-stop Borcher here. I mean, he's only got to stretch it another 2 laps for it to really be considered a one-stop race. So, it looks like they're one-stopping Borcher. So, another wrench thrown into the. I'm trying to think of the analogy, but I can't think of it. Oh well, but I mean, this could cost Borcher in effectively 8th position to Anton Hagelin, depending on how each car handles in traffic. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we won't get a real reading until all the pit stops are done, where Borcher is compared to Hagelin.
At the moment, Anton Hagelin in 12th position. Patrick Holtzman still hasn't pitted. He's in front by 10 seconds, right behind Robin Friskops, who's jumped up. I mean, this is incredible. We know he hasn't made his pit stop, but he's 34th to 10. That is incredible from him, from Robin Friskops. I mean, his start was just crazy. He got through all positions, all the trouble, and he's made it up through now into 10th. Once he makes that pit stop, though, Daniel, he should feed out near the mid-pack, around 20th place there. We see Baranzini and Job and Richard Avery, all of them battle. Interesting enough, Riku Alatalo there in 22nd position. Don't forget, Riku, the only guy not even being a World Championship driver, setting pole position last year at Road Atlanta. But this year, though, I mean, it's all about consistency and speed, isn't it, racing in the World Championship? There are some guys who can nail that one lap in qualifying, but in the races, though, you really have to be on the bubble 100% of the time, and you cannot make any mistakes. I mean, one mistake, your race is over, and we know that any type of racing, you cannot afford to lose or have a lapse in concentration.
Definitely not at this level, Johnny. I mean, we're going to see a number of different strategies in the. I mean, there's probably at least 5 drivers on one start. I mean, you've got Andre Borcher, the race leader. You got Piatella, so 2 Coanda cars, 1 stopping. Then you got Friskops and Holtzman, currently battling for 10th on track, both on 1 stops as well. And you've got a couple of cars further down, Dion Burgess and Morgan Filo, are all the cars that are 1 stopping. Meanwhile, though, back up the front, it's getting close between De Jong and Kroenke once again.
It is indeed. It was 3/10 the gap through that first chicane complex, or the really tight couple of corners there, and now we head towards the middle part of the lap. Kroenke now half a second behind De Jong. It drops around this time around, doesn't it? And now as we look at the lap times last time around, a 1 minute 30.2 for Martin Kroenke, Mitchell De Jong a 1 minute 30.5, 3/10 faster. This time around though, Kroenke is ever closer to Mitchell in front. The initial part of Mitchell's stints, though, haven't been as strong, especially in that first part. We'll see. He just has to keep the lead at this stage of the stint, Daniel, and then towards the end, he'll maintain the rhythm that he has through the initial part and then just pull away. So we watch this through the final corner.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as we hit the halfway mark as Andre Borcher starts lap number 27. It'll be interesting to see, obviously we know De Jong's on a part-time schedule. We know he wants to win races, but for the championship, will he let Kroenke pass? Obviously, that didn't happen 2 weeks ago at Phillip Island, so I don't really expect it to happen this week, as Friskops and Holtzman in the battle for 10th in the pit lane now.
Both in the pits, and now halfway distance. We'll round out the grid for you. It's currently Andre Borcher in first place from Mitchell De Jong. Andre hasn't made that pit stop. He will drop back. So Mitchell De Jong's our effective leader there in second, under immense pressure from his teammate Martin Kroenke in third. Alexi Usiakla and Enzo Benito, the 2 red line teammates, there in fourth and fifth. Marty Piatella there in 6th position. Gregor Hutu playing strategy perfectly for him. He's into 7th place. Oli Pacalo, Hugo Luis and Robin Friskops in 10th position. They've pitted, obviously, Robin Friskops and Patrick Holtzman. They come outside of the pits in clean air, and they're currently in 18th and 19th. So that allows, interesting enough, Daniel, a man named Anton Hagelin into the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, we think he's got at least the 9th quickest car on the field. So we'll see him, obviously, back inside the top 10 for sure. But obviously, the main car he's racing is a current race leader in the form of Andre Borcher, who is now in the pit lane making his pit stop.
Incredible race so far through this pit stop phase. It's made it very, very interesting. Andre Borcher, though, we follow him through his pit stop phase at the moment, pulling into his box now. Hopefully this is clean for him. He's aiming for around 8.5 seconds in the box, and this is definitely a one-stop strategy, obviously, Daniel. So we'll see how this pays off for him. Andre Borcher started in 9th position. currently in 9th. A very long pit stop, 11.8 seconds. So we see the difference. You lose those 3 seconds in the box from a 1 stop to a 2 stop. And that's all about taking extra fuel.
Yeah, definitely. As he's just come out right behind on Anton Hagelin. So Hagelin's got the jump on Borcher, which is interesting because Borcher was on a lot of fuel. So I think Hagelin might have been held up by Borcher in the first stint of the race.
There he is. Marty Piatella in 5th position, waiting for him to make a pit stop. Watch this time around. Maybe he might drop in. He's currently in 5th position. He started in 12th, so he's made his way up the order so far. I mean, he's jumped up. He wasn't 6th last time around, but if you update Andre Borcher's pit stop, he's up into 5th. He should feed out, though, interestingly enough, around, where is it? There he is, around probably the mid-pack, 15th, 16th position. The battles with Richard Avery and Rico Alatalo. This is important, though. Once you get out of the pits, Daniel, you really have to be on the ball straight away.
Johnny, sorry to jump in, but Hugo Luis and Oli Picala are side by side going into Sunset Bend. This is for essentially 5th place as Oli just squeezing Hugo out of the room through Sunset. Now he's on the inside again, going to turn 1. This is awesome. This is awesome driving from the pair of them. Hugo's got to go right around the outside into turn 1. Can he hold it though? They're still side by side going into turn 2. Picali's just got to outbrake Hugo Luis, and he does and holds what is currently 7th position for the moment.
Incredible driving from Hugo Luis, but for now we have to live another day as the bridesmaid for the battle for 7th and 8th there. Oli Picala, incredible defending. We've seen so many drivers try to stick it up the outside at turn 1 and maintain that grip. Hugo tried to do that, but Oli braked late into turn 3. He just maintained that position there, and look behind now, the gap is still 3/10. This could extend itself for another lap, this battle. Let's look at Oli Picala carrying so much apex speed into there. Hugo Luis though at this corner now, around turn 11 at Collier. He loses the rear end quite a lot on the exits of corners. But right there though, we see Oli Picala missing the apex tunnel. More pressure as we head towards Ullman Straight.
I reckon Hugo might be running a little less downforce because he's absolutely honing in on that red line car in a straight line. Losing a little bit in the corners, doesn't really get a good run through Le Mans there, so I think Ollie's going to be safe into Sunset. I can't say the same going into turn 1 though.
We'll watch this now. Hugo Luis though into Sunset Bend in the final corner with 23 laps remaining, pushing the car to the limit. I think Oli Picala has carried a lot more entrance speed. Hugo on the exit, very close. We saw him make a mistake there in qualifying, hitting the wall, but this time around he keeps it together, keeps that car in a straight line. Hugo Luis on the attack for P6 now, and I think that is indeed one of the drivers making a pit stop. That was Piatella. So Piatella in the pits at the moment.
Piatella making his pit stop, which means everyone has made at least 1 stop in this race. We've also lost Jonas Ukurian and Alex Simpson, so we've still got only 28 cars left. But let's focus on the Marty Piatella pit stop as he's exiting pit lane now. See, he's gonna. There's a car coming down this Sebastian Job car, and this is going to be tight. This is going to be really tight. I think Job. Oh, Piatella comes across the track to block Job going into turn 2. That was very tight indeed between those two.
Well, Sebastian Job's going to have his hands full this time around. He's stuck behind Marty Piatella outside of the pits, 1 stopping. Sebastian Job on a separate strategy. 11 seconds pit stop, and here comes Sebastian Job up the inside at the hairpin. Braking very late. Can he maintain it? And Piatella lets him through. So Sebastian Job up into P11. Incredible job there. A straightforward maneuver, Daniel, as he sailed up the inside.
Very smart driving though from Marty Piatella, knowing that Job was on Seb was on a 2-stop strategy. He was on a 1. He knew that in the long run that he had the upper ground on Job. Very good driving there from the Coanda car, or Coanda driver.
Incredible driving there. We go back to the lead for the moment, 1.3 seconds at the moment, and Hugo Luis now and Oli Picala side by side into turn 1. Hugo Luis around the outside. Can he get it done? Very, very close. Oh, he almost loses the car. Incredible car control, and Hugo Luis once again lives for another day. I think Picala as well was very loose. He almost, did he hit the wall or something, Daniel? There, it was incredibly close for them to almost both spinning out at the same time.
I don't think he hit the wall, but I tell you what, Hugo Luis is going to be really annoyed because so far they've gone side by side into turn 1 twice. once on each side, and Hugo Luis can't get past on the inside or the outside. Picala's driving really well, keeping the 2011 world champion in behind him.
Hugo, oh wow, it's incredible driving between these two at the moment. Oli Picala currently 5th in the championship, Hugo in 4th at the moment. Those positions are swapped on track. They're in 6th and 7th at the moment. Oli Picala though, an incredible moment there at turn 1, and he keeps it together for another lap. Well, watch this time around. The gap's half a second now, Daniel, as they head towards Allman Straight. Can Hugo keep it together? Oli Picala misses the apex, but he's too far in front for Hugo to be, or to at least pass him and take that position. I think Richard Avery's in the pits.
Yeah, he's just rejoined in 27th position, Johnny. But look for Picala coming out Sunset Bed. He got very loose last lap, which is why he's on the grass. He's on the grass. Oli Picala's on the grass, and Hugo Luis is gonna take 6th position with ease.
Oh wow. Too close for comfort. Hugo Luis up the inside, and then that means Oli Picala will drop back behind. I think there it's all game over for Oli Picala in that battle. He's under too much pressure from the 2011 world champion Hugo Luis, our man from RaceBot. Wonderful job from Hugo, and now you're putting the pressure on. That's key, isn't it? You just have to make sure you have your car in the mirrors of the driver in front, and eventually they will crack. And Oli Picala will have to be frustrated by that. Can he get back in front, Daniel, is a separate question. And we'll watch that in the next 21 laps, whether he can do that or not.
Well, let's see. Hugo's pulled out probably about half a second so far this lap. So I reckon Hugo's got the quicker car over Oli. So, I mean, in reality, it was only a matter of time. A shame for Oli. He was running a good race up until that slight mistake. But maybe he's got something up his sleeve in the pit strategy though, and being Team Redline, that wouldn't surprise me.
At the moment though, so Oli Picala 8/10 behind. I think Hugo's going to sail away with that battle for the moment. We look at Mitchell Dion currently in 1st position. Last time around, he currently just started a new lap, but last time around, I think he is currently, well, he just crossed the line with a 1:30.3. The lap before, though, he set his fastest lap of the race as he approaches a couple of lap cars, and that's allowed Martin Kroenke to close the gap to within a second now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as they go past Dion Vergis, I believe, who's currently running 24th, yet to make his 2nd pit stop there. In fact, Kroenke's going to get held up a little bit on the exit of the hairpin here, and he can't get held up too much because, I mean, Yukola's not too far behind either. Mind you, there's a few lap cars in between the first 2 cars, as Vergis being very polite there to Martin Kroenke going into Cunningham Corner.
Yeah, Kroenke getting a few tenths this lap, and already though makes a bit of a mistake at turn 13, so he's lost another couple of tenths to Mitchell Dion in front. Mitchell approaching another lap car. He might catch him in on the straight maybe. So at the moment though, as Kroenke goes off the track, almost loses it. Will he get a slowdown penalty for that, Daniel? And he does indeed. So Martin Kroenke has to slow down, and he's now about 2 seconds slower. Look at that, disappointing for him. Martin Kroenke.
That may just cost Kroenke a chance at the race. The gap now is up to about 3 seconds between De Jong and Kroenke. So that's really gonna hurt Martin Kroenke. We've actually lost Marty Piatella. Not sure what happened to it. It's just, I wonder if he's actually, because had a little incident coming towards the end of the 1st sector.
We just got word that him and Fulvio Battazzini had some contact, so Marty Piatella is out of the race, unfortunately, as Alexei Usiakla approaching the lap car at the moment. And the replay up on your screen there, incredible at the moment. So Piatella's race, unfortunately, over, Daniel.
Yeah, that was a shame. It was going to be interesting to see how that one-stop strategy was going to play out for him, but down to 27 runners now, and the top 7 have sort of spread themselves out a bit now.
They have indeed. We'll look at the gaps though for the moment with 19 laps remaining. Mitchell Dion 3 seconds in front after that mistake from Martin Kroenke, but that is lucky for Martin because Alexei Usiakla wasn't too close behind. He can't capitalize on that. I think Martin Kroenke again almost making a similar mistake at the same corner but he once again lives for another day. So 1.9 seconds between them. Enzo Benito 5.3 behind Alexius Iaccola. Gregor Hutu 2.9 behind. Slowly reeling in Enzo, I think. This could be interesting as they make their second pit stops anytime soon. And then we have Hugo Luis in 6th, Ollie Pacala 7th. He's dropped behind Hugo after that battle. And then way far behind, it's Anton Higlin, 14 seconds behind Pacala. Rounding out our top 10, it's Andre Bircher from Ilka Hapala as we have some pit stops.
Yeah, Isaac Price coming in for his second pit stop now, Johnny, and he's just on his way out now. I think Paulo Mulia might get past. I'm just going to see where Mulia is on the track. It's going to be tight actually because Mulia is coming down the front straight. I think Price will comfortably have it over Mulia though. So obviously the start of the second pit stops now. The highest of those drivers being Tommaso Carla in 24th, being the highest of the drivers who have made 2 stops.
Are indeed there. We'll round out the DNFs for you this afternoon. Miguel Martin, Rocco Barone, Jeremy Bootloop, Yuho Abe, Ryosuke Iwasaki, Eunice Nakarinen, Alex Simpson, Marty Pietiela, and then we have Paulo Mulia in last place. He's still running the rest of them, DNFs, and Paulo's still on a charge at the moment. He's not going to give up. He's still running around like Speedy Gonzalez, racing around the track at the moment. Look at the battle though for 15th and 16th now. Patrick Holtzman and Yao Vaz and Robin Fritzkopf in front of them. They're battling quite hard at the moment.
Paul Ilbrink's not too far behind this either, but this should be interesting in Holtzman and Vaz. I mean, we know that these two raced each other pretty hard in the Pro Series across the 2014-2015 season, as now Vaz is really close to Holtzman, has a look down into the hairpin, but doesn't get it done. He can't be too aggressive because if they want to catch Fritzkopf, they can't really battle. So, I mean, it's a lose-lose situation if you're Joe Vaz right now. Because, I mean, you want to catch Fritzkopf, you want to get past Holtzman. I mean, you can't have both. So, and he's got to look out because Ilbrink's only about half a second behind him. In fact, Ilbrink's actually catching at a great rate of knots.
He is indeed. Yao Vaz started in 17th, currently in 16th, 2 tenths behind Patrick Holtzman. Can Patrick maintain this position? He's in 15th at the moment, gets a poor exit at Le Mans, and now across the back straight, Ullman Straight, heading towards Sunset Bend, the penultimate or the final corner of the track. Yao Vaz into the slipstream. Will he pull it up the inside? He does. They're going to be side by side into the final corner, and Patrick Holtzman allows him through. So Yao Vaz up into 15th position. A pretty straightforward maneuver there, and he's on a charge towards a great finish here this afternoon, Daniel.
Holtzman was very smart there, and he's got to be, because remember, Holtzman's on a one-shot strategy. These guys around him are not, because now he's got Ilbrink all over the back of him on the exit of turn 1. Ilbrink's looking into turn 1. Wouldn't surprise me if Holtzman just lets him by, and he doesn't. He was sort of a half-hearted move from Ilbrink there, so Holtzman took right away and took the corner, as he should have. And now Vaz is actually caught up to the back of Fritzkopf. Not quite on him yet, but he's catching him relatively quickly. Obviously, Fritzkopf's been on that one-stop strategy as well, so these guys sort of breeze through, but it wouldn't surprise me if Fritzkopf and Holtzman end up finishing ahead of these guys.
Will be interesting to watch indeed. Look at Ilbrink though, still on the back of Holtzman, as well as Yao Vaz and Robin Fritzkopf. This four-way battle has turned into a duo battle of 2v2. At the moment though, Yao Vaz 2 tenths behind. Can he make a carbon copy maneuver?
Sorry to jump in though, Johnny.
Hugo.
We just missed Martin. It sprung at us. Mitchell de Jong, Martin Kroenke, and Hugo Luis have just made their second pit stops. And Mitchell de Jong actually just getting out of...
Sorry to interrupt you, Martin Kroenke. I think shoving off a lap car. Sorry to interrupt you there, Daniel. Martin Kroenke under incredible pressure through that first sector. We'll hopefully get a replay up shortly of that. I think that's Paulo Mulia in front. Martin Kroenke incredibly frustrated now, and he's 5.6 seconds behind Mitchell de Jong coming out of the pits. Incredible stuff there. We've had battles. This phase of the race has just blown up out of proportion. So much action going on, and Martin Kroenke already, you can tell from the body language of his driving, just incredibly frustrated behind those lap cars.
I think Kroenke might get a penalty for that. I'm not sure if he'll be a during the race penalty or a post-race penalty, but I think he might be getting one. He's got Anton Hagelin all over the back of him as well, so he's got to be careful because Hagelin will be lighter on fuel. As Alexi Usiukola is in this lap as well, and Benito stays out this time as well as Hutu. So I'm not sure if Hutu will be able to jump Benito unless he's going another 2 laps over another red line car, which it doesn't make sense, mind you. Alexei Yusiakola's missed his pit stall. He just had to back up. That loses him any chance of jumping Kroenke in the pit lane.
He's got to make sure he doesn't lose that 3rd position away from the guys behind. So Alexei Yusiakola feeds out of the pits. Where are the guys behind for the moment? I think Oli Pakala, he comes out of the pits now. Pakala's had a pretty good pit stop as well. For the moment though, Mitchell de Jong still 6 seconds in front of Martin Kroenke. Enzo Benito, where is he on track with Gregor Hutu? We know Hutu will pit sometime shortly. He's 15 laps remaining. Sorry, Hutu on a different strategy, my bad. And Enzo Benito there in 1st position. Wow, so I'm a bit lost where everyone is now. It's a very interesting phase, this, on the track there. But as we saw, Ilkka Hapala now is 1/10 behind. I think that's Andre Borcha. We'll follow this for the moment. Ilkka Hapala behind Andre Borcha on opposite strategies. Ilkka Hapala trying to pass Andre now at the moment into the slipstream as well. In the meantime, Yao Vaz got in front of Robin Friskops and he made a pit stop. So Yao Vaz, incredibly fast. Unfortunately, he had to pull into the pits. So much action going on, Daniel. I don't know where to start at the moment as we follow this battle between Bertra and Hapala for 6th and 7th.
I know where to start, and it's the fact that Benito's in pit lane. And the reason why I want to start here is that since Yusiakola has missed his pit stall, will Benito jump him in the pit stops? This is going to be interesting as Hutu stays out for another lap. So Hutu may end up P3 here, or a net P3. So, de Jong's coming down the front straight, goes past. Next is Kroenke. Obviously we're focusing on the other red line car, we're focusing on Yusiakola. There's Yusiakola coming into turn 1 now. It's going to be tight, but Yusiakola's going to do it by about a second. Very lucky there for Yusiakola concerning his pit stop.
Oh, in the meantime of all of that, incredible there. So Alexei Yusiakola maintains that after the bad pit stop. Ilkka Hapala went up the inside there of Andre Borcha and he went straight into the pits. So unfortunately he got held up as well. We have Riku Alatalo in the pits. All the drivers screaming in now. An incredibly busy pit stop phase. Gregor Hutu leads though on a different strategy, I think, or a bit longer than the other drivers for the moment. Mitchell de Jong though 7 seconds in front of Martin Kroenke. Crucially for him though, he's jumped his teammate by a wide margin. It's going to hand the pressure off to Martin to maintain that 2nd place and try to hold it away. So Ilkka Hapala gets into a bit of traffic now outside the pit stops.
I tell you what, actually, Kroenke is the one that lost the most, because Kroenke is only 2.5 seconds ahead of Yusiakola, who's only about... hang on. Oh no, I thought Benito had lost a bunch of time there, but he's only 1.5 seconds behind Yusiakola. This could turn into a 3-way battle for 2nd, as Hutu stays out for another lap. Correct that may become the battle for 3rd if Hutu decides to jump them all.
Could indeed. Gregor Hutu playing it smart this afternoon. And, well, we'll hope to see. We'll see what happens there. As Ilkka Hapala now stuck behind. I think that's Paul Ilbring, Patrick Holtzman in front as well. So 3 guys there battling for 11th, 12th and 13th. Look at Hugo Luis, though, behind Andre Borcha. Oh.
This should be an easy move. This should be an easy move for Luis. Borcha's on a 1-stop and their teammate. So Borcha doing the right thing there, just letting his teammate pass pretty easily. Smart driving there from obviously Borcha.
Hugo Luis up into 6th position, a wonderful job as well. So lots of battling going on. This is incredible to see guys on different strategies. They're all mixing up the action, mixing up where they are on track for the moment. Andre Borcha under incredible pressure from drivers, and he lets his teammate through into 6th position. Andre Borcha started there in 9th position, up into 7th now for the moment. Hugo Luis though, well, he's slowly making his way up through the field. Qualified in 7th, up into 6th. Another man, though, making his way through the field we're watching is Gregor Hutu in 1st position. Does he pull into the pits? Yes, he does. So Gregor Hutu into the pits now, and we'll watch this. Hopefully, a very clean pit stop phase. We'll see where he feeds out, Daniel.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We're looking at Kroenke, Yusiakola, Benito. I reckon those 3 cars, including as well as Hutu, will end up being very close. I reckon we're going to have 4 cars within 5 seconds. This is going to be a quick stop for Hutu. It'll be interesting to see where he feeds out. Where's Kroenke? Kronke's on the front straight. Yusiakola's out of the last corner. Benito's out of the last corner. Hutu's coming out of pit lane. This is going to be so tight. Here comes Yusi Yakola. He'll start. Benito's just got to get ahead of Hutu. Just by literally 5 car lengths.
Wow.
This is going to these guys won't hit each other, but it's going to be very close as there's a car off there. There is Yoni Tamala, who's a lap down. But 3 red line cars chasing down Martin Kroenke right now.
Wow, a red line, just pretty much a red line sandwich trying to chase down a Coanda duo at the moment. Incredible top 5 at the moment. Look at the talent there in this field at the moment. A 35 car field of incredible. The world's best sim racers with 12 laps remaining will fight it out for the win at the moment. Can Alexei Usiakla catch up to the 2 Coanda cars and indeed take the win? It's going to be incredibly optimistic. He's 9.8 seconds behind Mitchell de Jong for the lead. These red line cars, though, you'd think it's more realistic for them to aim and hunt down Martin Kroenke in second. And, well, the lead, Mitchell's pretty much, unless he makes a major mistake, no commentator curse intended, he's pretty much got that win wrapped up.
Yeah, definitely. I think the focus for the 3 red line cars will be catching Martin Kroenke 2 seconds up ahead. It'll be interesting to see. They'll probably work together. It wouldn't surprise me if they work together until it gets to a point where they can't. It's pretty much impossible without a mistake for Kroenke to for them not to catch Kroenke, and then they'll start drilling it out. I think obviously they won't do anything stupid, but we could see some pretty awesome racing between inter-team rivalries right now.
Well, at the moment, Enzo Benito 3/10 faster than Alexei Usiakla there for 3rd place. The battle for the final podium spot. These 3, though, they have to work together because I think at the moment Enzo's faster than Martin Kroenke, but Alexei's slower than Martin. Almost identical lap times, about 2 or 3 tenths between these drivers for the moment. Gregor slowly 1.5 seconds behind. He slowly dropped away this past lap coming outside of the pits. Maybe trying to find that rhythm, which is pretty ironic to say, Daniel, because we know Gregor's rhythm is just incredibly robotic. Just one of the best racers, and there's no point saying that. Everybody knows that. But for the moment, though, Enzo Benito 7 tenths behind. Can he get up to the front of his teammate? But the big question is, can they reel in Martin Kroenke in 2nd place?
Well, they're running out of time. It's about 3 seconds. I mean, Kroenke's pretty much matching de Jong on lap speed, but the 3 red line cars are a bit slower. Benito last lap was relatively close to Mitchell de Jong. De Jong's got the race now. There's no doubt about that. Without a mistake, Mitchell de Jong, it's his race to lose. The focus now is on this battle from 2nd through to 5th.
What was very hair-raising there, I almost interrupted you, sorry about that, was Andre Butcher almost into the grass as well. He had a pretty, well, I think he had a few technical issues that lap. I thought he almost did not finish the race. Now he's back on, almost loses it at the final corner. And you know why? Olli Pakala's behind 1.2 seconds under immense pressure there. This is the battle for 7th and 8th. Enzo Benito only 6 tenths behind his teammate Alexei Usiakla. He almost a carbon copy lap time to Martin Kroenke, 0.03 of a second slower that time around. It's not enough though with 10 laps remaining. He needs to reel him in 10th by 10th.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, Borch is going to have older tyres on that Coanda car being on that one-stop strategy. So, Pakala with just under 10 laps to go should be able to get Andre. I thought it was Alexei for a second for some reason, but Andre Borcher. So, he should be able to pick that up. I tell you what, though, Andre Borcher was racing Anton Hagelin earlier on in the race. And it seems that the one-stops has worked for Borcher. In fact, for Fritzkops and Holtzman as well, they're currently 10th and 11th. Mind you, they do have Hapala in behind them, but Barazini's a good 8 seconds down the road. So it seems that the one-stop, for the first time this season, has really worked.
Wow. Well, it makes things more interesting come the rest of the season, but with 9 laps remaining for the moment, Olli Pakala right onto the back of Andre Butcher for the moment. Olli Pakala still too far behind. He's 4 tenths this time around. We look at Andre Butcher's last lap, a 1:31.0. Olli Pakala 7 tenths faster. At that rate, he'll be past Andre this lap around. So this is the battle to watch for the moment, as Olli Pakala heads towards the first sector of the track. Very tight with these chicanes. The important part of these chicanes, Daniel, is Get one line wrong. It's like the Suzuka S's. Get one line wrong, it just stuffs you up for the rest of the section.
Yeah, it's very rhythmic, that first area of the racetrack, as Pagala closes up at the back of Borcha going through the hairpin. Not quite close enough to have a look into Cunningham corner, but don't be surprised if he has a look either into Sunset or Turn 1. But yeah, it's very rhythmic, as is this section here, through from Cunningham corner through to Tower corner, I should say. So it's surprising such a bumpy track has a bit of rhythm, as Borcha goes a bit wider. He must have clipped that inside curve there at Tower corner, and now Pacala's right up on the back of him, coming up to Gabion, and now into Le Mans, and down the Allman Straight. I don't think he'll be close enough for Sunset Bend, but don't be surprised as they go across the track to steal a little bit of slipstream of Paolo Muya. He won't be close enough for Sunset Bend, but if he gets a better run through Sunset, don't be surprised if Ollie has to go into Turn 1.
Oh, incredibly close now at the moment. We saw Enzo Benito and Alexei Usiakla doing the exact same thing. Lap cars trying to get slipstream across the Allman Straight, that back straight. Ollie Pacala this time around still 4 tenths behind Andre Borcha. Mucks up Turn 1 slightly, doesn't get it 100% perfect, and he loses another couple of tenths through there, but now he gains it through braking. Incredible job. Andre Borcha, I think, knows he's under pressure. Look at the car sliding as well. You can physically tell by the movements of the car and the movements of his steering inputs that Andre Borcha is indeed under pressure at the moment. He can feel it inside his head. Ollie Pacala braking very late for the moment. Can he get the power down outside of the hairpin? He does, but he's still too far behind. That gap though between second and third, it's slowly crept down tenth by tenth, and it's now 2 seconds between Alexei Usiakla and Martin Kroenke. Enzo Benito though still can't get past his teammate. I think they're working together though, Daniel.
Yeah, Benito seems to be stuck in the dirty air, keeping around a second behind Usiakla. A bit like Pacala right now behind Borcha. Just the dirty air isn't allowing him to get close enough to be able to make a real move, as Borcha really botches Le Mans there, misses the apex big time, goes straight to the inside of the track, goes straight to the inside, comes back across. Here comes Pacala. I don't think he's looking. Oh, he's not quite close enough into Sunset Bend. They come through. No, Ollie's will surely have a go into Turn 1. Borcha's all over the track trying to break the slipstream. Here comes Ollie again. He's having a look. He's just about alongside him, but Borcha will have the momentum around the outside. Oh, Willie. Pacala's, they're so close to touching. They're still side by side, but I think Borcha's going to hold on. Oh, is he? They're side by side. You can't do that. You can't do that through Turn 3. You can't go side by side through Turn 3. I've never seen that before. Pacala gets the job done for now, but here comes Borcha back again. Through Big Ben to the outside, coming down into the hairpin. I think Ollie has the line though, but Borcha goes really late on the brakes. But I think Ollie will. Oh, Willie, here we go again. Borcha's got the run. Borcha's just pulled off an unbelievable move around the outside at the hairpin, and he's got it done. Here comes Ollie again into Cunningham corner, but Borcha holds on for now.
No, incredible battling there on the outside of the exit of Turn 10 now, just side by side for almost half the track, half the lap for the moment. In the other battles, nothing much has gone on. Alexei Usiakla has crept in by half a second, but this battle, absolutely amazing. It all started at this next corner at Le Mans, coming up shortly, the Turn 16 it is. Borcha just had a terrible exit, as you said, he just butchered this corner, and once again, no, he gets it right this time, but Ollie Pacala makes an even better exit than last time around. Into the slipstream though now, heading towards Turn 17, Sunset Bend, the final corner. Will Pacala stick it up the inside? He does, has a creep, has a look, and he does. He tries to stick it around. Oh, geez, just too close for comfort once again. Look at the bumps though, unsettling the cars. Now side by side across the front straight. 6 laps remaining in this race. Andre Borcha up the inside. Can Ollie Pacala indeed maintain his grip around the outside? He tries. Go for the switchback. No, he can't get it done. And now, wow, we're lost for breath, me and Daniel. Side by side battling for almost the whole lap there, Daniel. Incredible stuff as Alexei Usiakla creeps in towards Martin Kroenke.
Keep an eye on Kroenke, but this battle is awesome. Here comes Pacala on the inside. Borcha into the hairpin now. This is awesome racing between these two. Whoever thought 2 different pit strategies would bring racing this close? Pacala's got a slight gap, just enough for him to be safe going into Cunningham Corner. I think we're both out of breath and need a breather, but we'll stay with this for the last 5.5 laps of the race, because this is awesome. Picala's got a little bit of a gap now, and I think that would just be enough for him to secure 7th place.
Oh wow, incredible battling for the moment. Andre Bottcher though will have to settle in for P8. That was hats off though to both drivers there to maintain their cars in this race. I mean, no damage, no touching, incredible battling. Alexei Usiakala 4/10 faster than Martin Kroenke last time around. 5 laps remaining, and Usiakala now is 1.4 seconds behind. His teammate Enzo Benito is 1.5 seconds. Gregor Hutu 9/10 behind Enzo. These Team Redline cars, what are they going to do? Are they going to work together to aim for P2, or are they indeed going to battle and fight for their own personal glory? It's going to be really important. 5 laps remaining, Daniel, as Mitchell de Jong will watch this. 3 lap cars in front. Will this unsettle him? He's got a big gap to Kroenke, 6.7 seconds, as one of the lap cars lets him through.
I don't think it will. Mitchell's very professional at what he does, not only in the sim world, but in the real world as well. Going back to this battle though, I think Kroenke is just maintaining his tyres, making sure he doesn't make a mistake. I tell you what though, Huti's really closed up on Benito. This could still get interesting yet in the next 4.5 laps.
Well, but this is, other than that though, I think Mitchell de Jong, he's got the lead settled, but he's lost so much time compared to Martin Kroenke. These leading cars now will catch up to those 3 lap cars shortly. Will this let the Team Redline, or the 3 cars of Alexei Usiakala, Enzo Benito and Gregor Hutu, to make a pass on Martin Kroenke? This is where you have to be really smart as you pass drivers. It's important to be fast as a world-class sim racer, Daniel, but to lap cars as well is another story. You have to know when to lap them, hope to get a bit of luck on your side, and play it smart at different times, because Martin now has got his work cut out to maintain 2nd place.
Well, I'll tell you who didn't get lucky with the traffic there was Mitchell de Jong, who lost a second on that last lap, obviously with that 3-car train. But obviously that 3-car train could end up deciding this battle for there's still, they're covered, 4 cars covered by roughly 4 seconds from Kroenke through to Hutu. And Kroenke's held off this red line attack really, I mean, this whole race, and he's done it perfectly. Mind you, Alexei Usiakala was a 10th quicker. It's down to 1.3, but with 3.5 laps to go, I don't think he'll really be able to challenge Kroenke unless he makes a minor mistake.
We'll see. Andre Bottcher though lost 3 seconds last lap around, so he's still in P8 as well. Is he? I don't think he's got any issues. He might have just had a slowdown penalty as well for maybe cutting the track for the moment. Enzo Benito though, I think
Kroenke's just had a slowdown. Kroenke's Usiakala's up to 2nd. Benito, he's gonna have a look, I'm sure, for 3rd. Hutu, and Benito does have 3rd. This just, anything could happen. I said a minor mistake. Kroenke made a minor mistake, and he's lost 2 positions, and he's really under pressure now from Hutu, and he's got to apply the pressure to Benito now. This could be interesting for the final podium position.
Martin Kroenke is just putting himself into a red line sandwich at the moment. Hutu behind and Benito in front, as well as Alexei Usiakala. He's drifted away now. Martin Kroenke, it could not get any worse for him with that slowdown penalty. His 2nd one of the race now, and guess who's behind? It's Gregor, 2nd in the championship. Can he pass Martin? Oh, he almost collects him up the back. Too close for comfort. And whoa, Gregor Hutu, uncharacteristic from him, almost collecting Martin Kroenke, and he's just butchered that. He's going to get really nervous now to make a passing maneuver. That was incredibly close, Daniel.
I can't believe Hutu A made a mistake, B almost taking Martin Kroenke out of the race. That was way too close. He completely outbroke himself, Gregor Hutu. I'm not sure if he just couldn't see his marker or what it was, but that was way too close.
Well, Mitchell de Jong now through some lap traffic. He pretty much obviously almost win this race now. He gets behind the last of them, but in front though, this duo for 2nd, 3rd and 4th though, Martin Kroenke once again, another slowdown penalty.
That's cost him a shot at 3rd place. it's just really in reality, Kroenke's he could have won this race. He could have beaten his teammate De Jong, but instead 3 slowdown penalties, and he's gonna finish P5 now, Johnny.
Wow, incredible stuff. Martin Kroenke, absolutely heartbreaking for him under pressure, and he loses second place. He's dropped down to 5th, 5.6 seconds behind is Hugo Luis. Unless he gets another slowdown penalty, I'm pretty sure Martin will finish in the top 5. So the replay at the moment, you can see there Cerutu almost getting in, just way too deep into the hairpin. You can see Greg Cerutu, uncharacteristic to see a mistake from him. Now the red line, or triple red line cars here at the moment, Alexiou Siakala, Benito and Hutu will probably settle in for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, as Mitchell de Jong will indeed head towards the final lap sometime shortly. He's on the penultimate lap now. Incredible race from him, Daniel. We've seen him from lights to flag, lead and finish. Just incredible from Mitchell, and we thought he'd be under pressure with being the Pro Series champion. It's just incredible at the moment to see the job he's done today. Oh, wait, we switched back to, sorry, Anton Higelin and Andre Borcher, I think that is. Anton Higelin now side by side. Look at that, almost collecting each other as they head towards turn 10. Oh, too close. Borcher tries to swing it in. Higelin maintaining the car for the Apex Racing UK team. Now around the outside, has the grip, and Andre Borcher has to succumb, once again, to the pressure of Anton Higelin. So Anton Higelin up into 8th position. Can Borcher get in front? Indeed, this is just too close for comfort. Once again, these drivers are pushing to the limit, but I think, though, he's gotten that position, Anton Higelin. Incredible job from him with more grip and the off strategy for Andre Borcher as Mitchell de Jong is on the final lap of the race.
I really thought that that one-stop strategy had worked for Borcher, but I'm not sure if his tyres have just gone off or something, but he's dropped a lot of time in the last 5 laps or so. Good move from Hagelin, but Mitchell de Jong on the final lap, I should say, now going up to tail corner. Faultless race from the Pro Series champion. He won the Pro Series for a reason, and now he's stamping his authority on this championship, despite being on a part-time schedule. But really, I mean, he knows, and he's making everyone else know, that if he was running a full-time schedule, he'd be a force to reckon with. But unfortunately, well, obviously, real-life racing comes before sim racing.
Mitchell de Jong will get 50 points from this race. Incredible job as he heads towards the final corner of the race, and he will win round 3 of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. Mitchell de Jong becomes our winner here at Sebring. Incredible race from him, and we look at Alexiou Siakala now to come home for 2nd position. A great job from him, and Team Redline goes for 3rd and 4th as well. So they finish in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. They're the bridesmaids for today, and Coanda takes that win. Martin Kroenke will come home in 5th. Disappointing race for him. He could have potentially won. Unfortunately had the slowdown penalties as Hugo Luis crosses the line in 6th. Pretty much frustrated being stuck behind lots of people today. Olli Pakala now will come home in 7th place, and then we wait a long time for Anton Higelin. Can he maintain the car? Andre Borcher seems to have slowed down a little, so at the moment though it seems Olli Pakala is finished in 7th, Anton Higelin will come across the line in 8th, and then Andre Borcher in 9th, and Robin Friskops in 10th. Incredible job there, Daniel, from those top 10. Ilka Hapala just outside there as well. We look though at Robin Friskops, 34th to 10th. Incredible, but Mitchell de Jong lights the flag, a great win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one-stop strategy worked for Friskops and Holtzman, not so much for Borcher, but they particularly Friskops, 34th to 10th. That has to be the drive of the race.
Incredible job from them. This is just an absolutely amazing race we've seen here for round 3 for the World Championship Grand Prix Series. Mitchell de Jong taking his first World Championship win, and he just goes to show that that form in the Pro Series was not a one-off. He can maintain it. It's all skill for him. And Coanda Simsport take an incredible win here this afternoon. Well, it's been absolutely incredible. Daniel, we'll head towards you for Driver of the Day. There's just so many drivers to vote for. It's just incredible as all drivers have now finished the race.
Yeah, I mean, am I allowed to have 2 drivers of the race?
Just go for it.
I mean, there's two obviously, Mitchell de Jong, faultless race from him to win by 7.8 seconds over the championship leader, and he will keep the championship lead with Alexei Yusiakola. But Robin Friscott's, that one-stop strategy, he worked perfectly. 34th on the grid, second last on the grid, and coming home in 10th.
Wow. Incredible job. When we look at, we just got word that Gregor Hutu on the final lap of the race set the fastest lap. Gregor Hutu goes to show why he's a 4-time world champion. But an incredible job from Mitchell de Jong. We'll round out the standings once again before we head towards a commercial break. Mitchell de Jong wins the race for round 3, and he takes 50 points maximum for Coanda Simsport. Alexei Usiakola in second place heads his Team Redline teammates of Enzo Benito and Gregor Hutu, who finish in 3rd and 4th. Martin Kroenke there in 5th position, Hugo Luis in 6th. A disappointing race for those two, but eventually they do finish in the points and get a strong result here. Oli Pakala, Anton Higelin in 7th and 8th. Andre Bircher in 9th and 10th. And we look at Robin Friscops, though, 34th to 10th. We talked about it, Daniel. Absolutely incredible there from him to jump up 24 positions. Ilka Hapala in 11th. Patrick Holtzman as well, jumping up 12 positions to finish in 12th. Wonderful job to see him finally finish high up in the World Championship. Fulvio Barazzini in lots of battles today finishes in 13th position. And the rest of the cars on the lead lap, it was Ricky Alatalo, Sebastian Job, Jake Styrios, Yalvaz, Moga Filio. And then the lap cars for today, Dion Vergis, Tommaso Carlo, who unfortunately started in 6th, was in that first lap incident. We have Paul Ilbrink, Richard Avery there as well in lots of battles today. Isaac Price, Yoni Tomala, Dimitri Yanis, Paolo Muya, and then finally Marcus Caton, all classified finishers. Incredible race. For now, we'll head towards a commercial break. It has been one absolute delight to commentate for today, and we need to catch our breath for a second. So we'll be back shortly after these messages. You're watching the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series from GreySpot TV in collaboration with PSR TV. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back shortly.
Fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 to the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Gentlemen, to iRacing Live and
Pace car
PSR
about to
TV.
duck off here,
Of course,
and
you guys
Chad
will probably
Lawton is
know
about
that
to
we've
take
got
the green
ourselves
flag in
two
round
events
number
going
2.
on simultaneously as soon as the World Championship event has finished off. We will take you on iRacing Live to the iRacing.com 12 hours of Sebring. It started off being a nice, clean and calm race, but literally in the last couple of moments, we've had ourselves an incident involving Friction Racing. They came together with a GT car and then also making themselves additional contact. They are now off sequence. Tom Ward behind the wheel of that one as well. Don't forget, that will be on iRacing Live in a couple of moments' time. But here on Racesport TV, time to get a summary of the World Championship event with Johnny Simon and Daniel Betterfield.
Thank you very much, Will. It's just been one heck of a race there at the 12 hours of Sebring, and we'll check that out shortly for you. But incredible race here so far. Daniel, we look at Mitchell de Jong, lights to flag finish for him in the lead, and we'll have an interview with them very, very shortly. We spoke about how much pressure there was on every driver. It certainly wasn't an easy race for most of them.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, Martin Cronke's mistakes cost him in the end, but what an awesome, entertaining race that we had today. I mean, battles throughout the field for the whole race. I mean, the red line cars trying to chase down the Commander cars. Probably, I reckon, the most exciting race we've had so far this season.
Incredible job as well. And then, well, I mean, we'll hand it over back to Will for the moment. Will, I mean, that 12 hours of Sebring, I mean, it's just getting more intense there. We just spoke about it before.
Yeah, indeed, as we're just having a look there at some of the drivers going on. Virgil Racing still leading the way in your GT field. So we're going to head it back over on Racesport TV. Don't forget, on iRacing Live, this second that this race is finished, you'll get coverage of the iRacing.com 12 hours at Sebring. So I'll hand it back to you guys. Thank you very much also to the guys over at PSR TV for stepping up to provide coverage of the World Championship event here today.
No worries. We'll start off with interviews today. We'll bring Mitchell de Jong over. And Mitchell, well done today. Incredible race from you. Lights to flag finish. But there was lots of pressure from your teammate there, Martin. He had a lot of slowdown penalties. Did that relieve the pressure from you slightly or even a lot?
Yeah, thank you. That was such a fun race. You know, I honestly didn't expect to get on the pole, and to get the start was kind of okay. Fortunately, we still have to come out with the lead, but I had Martin on me the whole time. Where it's so easy to make mistakes here, just being a tiny bit offline, and that's 3/10. So it was incredibly difficult to try to run optimal pace with someone who will do the exact same times directly behind you. So. I'm extremely happy, and it's really unfortunate to see what happened to him with the slowdown penalties. I think it would have been a great finish because we had very, very close pace. So, but yeah.
Great job though for the win. And at the start though, this is a big question I want to ask. Mentally, we saw Alexi start from 5th to 3rd, absolutely screaming towards turn 1. Did you ever think throughout the race that he might come towards and maybe battle you guys with strategy? Because in the end, 7.8 seconds really didn't reflect how close those red line cars were to you and Martin throughout the race.
Right. I think he was for sure always in right there. I could see in the timing how close he was. It was he gets amazing starts all the time, so I don't know how he does it, but yeah, it was very tough. Seeing his strategy when he stopped on the first stint kind of helped show us what he's doing already. So after that, it was just continuing to push and build that gap just in case something did go wrong with making a mistake or catching traffic wrong and losing time. So yeah, it was just to try to go as fast as you can all the time.
Now, Mitchell, obviously we know with your commitment in real world racing that you're running a part-time schedule this year. even though you're running that winning today, does that sort of put a standpoint to everyone else saying that if I was running a full schedule, I could win the championship? I mean, that you would be in contention to win?
Well, for me, I look at every race as just a single event. I wish I could do the full season, but you know, even if I was doing the full season, I would still continue to look at it one race at a time and just do the best you can. I think that's the best way to go about it, and you know, I would love to in the future maybe do the full season, but yeah, we'll just take it one race at a time for now.
Incredible job from Mitchell de Jong. He's our race winner for round 3, and well, for all the viewers out there, you just got to experience the voice of a race winner in the World Championship. Well done, Mitchell. You're now on that list of incredible sim racers, and we will interview next a driver who's already on that list, Alexei Usiakla, our winner of the first 2 races this season. Alexei, incredible job once again today, but I don't think finishing in second position was your key. You always want to win, don't you?
Well, thank you. And well, after the qualifying, it was horrible. It was so horrible. Oh God, like half a second of pace, like everybody was. And yeah, actually, it was kind of good that it was on the top 5 still. But yeah, when I went to the grid, I thought that I had to take a little bit more fuel and try to finish in top 5. But I got an amazing start again and got top 3 today.
Amazing is probably an understatement in my opinion. That was an absolute breathtaking, incredible start. I mean, what was the key to a start like that? We can just see every driver was pretty much almost symmetrically carbon copy of each other. But you just came through screaming from 5th to 3rd. I mean, was there any secrets that you can share towards other sim racers out there aspiring to get as great starts as you just got today?
Well, actually, I will probably do a video about it. I will make how it's said, tutorial for it, because I don't actually use anything else than my feet. So I press the throttle and clutch on, and then I just lift the clutch, and that's it.
Sounds a lot easier than it actually is. Alexei, of course, driving these cars, I know exactly what it's like. I mean, still finishing second today, but you do extend your championship lead, so obviously you got to still be happy with that. Obviously, looking at the big picture.
Yeah, of course, it was important to get a good finish here, because Sebring was not my best tracks on the season, so this was went better than I expected actually. And after I saw Mitchell's and Martin's pace on the first stint, I knew that if I push hard, I can actually do something. But then I just thought big picture and kept the car on track. Unfortunately, I did 1 second mistake before my pit stop, and then I missed my pit box on the pit lane, so I lost a few seconds there. So would have been in front of Martin already after the pits, but I was lucky that Martin did a couple of mistakes and got some slowdowns, because those cones were so annoying. When I was 2 or 3 seconds behind Martin, there was cones everywhere flying into my eyes. It just hurt also my driving, so I think he got his slowdowns for good.
Well, you know what? At least you did get in front, and yeah, you know what? The cones took quite a beating, and they do pretty much every race that we have them around as well. Well done, Alexei. You still are the championship leader, and still raced quite a lot as well. And well, sorry, I was about to say you raced quite well in those first 2 races, and you still maintained that first place. So well done to you, Mitchell de Jong as well, who was our first interview. Will indeed also say thank you to everyone as well. And Daniel, last thing we'll talk about, you mentioned driver of the day. We looked at Robin Friskops there from 34th to 10th. We mustn't rule out these 2 guys as well. But another guy is Gregor Hutu, 8th to 4th. I mean, he played strategy perfectly. He just kept his head cool in all situations.
Yeah, the smart mind of Gregor Hutu. Pretty much no one knows what happens inside it, but whatever happens inside it, we see as brilliant. I mean, it's awesome. Just seeing that the championship standings have been updated as well, so just quickly go through them. Obviously, Alexei Yusiukawa is still your championship lead, 30 points over Mitchell de Jong, Hutu third on 104, Cronke fourth on 100, Benito fifth with 93 points, Louise sixth, Picala seventh, Borcha eighth, Fritz Scotts with that top 10 is now ninth in the championship, and Jake Stogios rounds out the top 10.
Well, incredible championship standings then. Well, it's time to wrap up here. An incredible race. Incredible. Absolutely. And that's an understatement. There's no other word to describe the race we just witnessed today. I mean, well, we'll leave it to you guys in your head. Round 4 will be soon at Road America. Just another venue which will bring everybody, well, I mean, just incredible there. And, well, in 2 weeks' time is Road America indeed. So stay tuned for that shortly as well. This is the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. RaceSpot TV in collaboration with PSR TV. The Sebring 12 Hours is also going underway, an official iRacing Championship race as well. So stay tuned for that. For now, this is Johnny Simon alongside Daniel Betterfield in the commentary booth. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you shortly in 2 weeks' time.